Morning, guys. Thursday, March 13th, 2025. So I just shot a coat of paint on the fairing strips that I'm working on. Now these strips are going to hold the plastic on my greenhouse, and I'm just spraying on some gray house paint. It's going to take a few coats. My compressor, I got this far and I got to let it run. The noise you hear right now, that's that generator over there. It is a water pumping station, and that generator test runs. I can always tell it's Thursday when that fires up every week. So wore my mask. I always wear my mask. I just believe to protect my lungs. I'm trying to think. It goes way back when I was working. When I was a kid, I would go to the boatyard and ask if there was any work. And they would have boats that needed scraping. And they had it was almost like cheesecloth that you would wrap around your face. And that's how you would protect it. And if you didn't, then you would be sucking in lead paint. So they were smart enough to know that lead paint wasn't good for you there, and to protect anybody who was scraping it. And I would spend a whole day scraping on the bottom of a boat, pulling out all the old, they put like oakum between the cracks on the wood. You had to take a pick and pull all of that out and open all and get it all prepped up for the primer. But you didn't get to put the primer or the paint on. That was done by the guys who did the oakum. They were all professionals. I was just a little guy on the totem pole. But I would work there all summer and make enough money to pay for my school clothes. I always had good school clothes to go to school. Levi's, bell bottoms. So it was just way too windy to cut the plastic yesterday. It's funny, I came in and thought I had one paint filter left, and it turns out it was just like a paper cone that was inside to hold them in shape. So I gotta go get some paint filters. I wound up using an old spaghetti strainer that I had, which works fine. This reminds me I gotta wash it out. I've used that for years. It's just a spaghetti strainer, the screen thing with a ring and a handle. You know, this thing here, that module, that ignition module's coming in. If that cures it, it'll be great. But I still can't. I tried to cross over. You know how you go between the two terminals on the assembly line data link. You ground off the wire, and it won't make codes flash. It doesn't do anything. The light comes on, goes off, and when I'm driving, I never see the check engine light, but I can't check codes. I mean, it seems like it would have a, no start code, crank, but no fire code or something, you know. Bottom line, we'll see what the module does. I had a few people online that suggested that it's cheap enough to just change it. I got it for like $20, and I'll change that and see what happens. Thinking about changing these rear fenders to look like the front fenders. So what I was thinking about doing was cutting them. Basically, let me just set this here and I'll try to show you what I mean. So I noticed that the fender kind of leans in a little bit. From here it tends to lean in. So what I'm thinking I want to do is I'm going to slice the fender. I'm going to probably cut across, because this is already squared on the bottom. I made from here down to attach to the running board here. Made the running boards because the original running boards didn't work. They're actually on the golf truck, the original running boards for this. But I'm going to cut up the whole length of the fender across. So I'll cut it all the way across. lean this out a little bit, and then I'm going to extend from here straight across so it touches. And what's behind here is just going to stay. In fact, I'm going to attach to it and then go across. I'll have to go from underneath and tack it, and that'll help to hold the piece that's butted there. So I'm going to have to cut like some strips that are going to go on top of this. So the strip will start here and come across up here so that the top will be flat like the fenders on the front. But I'll save this part, but it'll actually be leaned out a little bit. If you look down, it barely covers the tire. It barely covers the tire. You can see the edge of the tire is actually. And when I originally built the truck, I was happy, but not totally happy, which is why I didn't, But now I think you can see when I extended these fenders how I did it with the strip. And then this piece here was actually for like a 50s GM truck. It held the weathering stripping along the inside of the door. And I just bent that to cover the seam and added the screws to kind of give it the effect that it was put together correct that way. But actually added on to those junkyard fenders. So, according to my email, the module will be in today and I can get that changed out. I'm going to go out, turn all this wood over, throw a coat on the other side as soon as the compressor catches up. I could have bought a 220 huge compressor. I really don't need it. I don't do a lot of painting. So what I do, I just take a lot of breaks when I'm painting. Let the compressor catch up. It gives me an excuse to take coffee breaks. Out from Rusty, Rhode Island. I'm still on the stevia mic. I'm gonna make it work. This time next summer, I'll be out here in a Speedo. Out from Rusty, Rhode Island.